There is something watching you while you sleep, and it's not human. Have you ever woken up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing, feeling that there was something there in the darkness of your room, even without seeing anything? Have you felt that heavy presence, that inexplicable cold that makes you pull the blanket up to your neck, while your spirit screams a silent warning that your rational mind tries to ignore? If you are a chosen one, you need to know that you are not alone in this experience. And the most terrifying part, you never have been. While the world sleeps in peace, while common people rest their bodies and renew their energies, you face invisible battles that no one believes, that no one understands, that no one dares to speak aloud, because there is a shadow that pursues you, an ancient, dark, and relentless presence that marks the chosen ones from the moment they were awakened. And today, for the first time, you will understand why. You will discover the truth they stole from you, the secret they hid from you for so long, because this shadow doesn't pursue you by chance. It doesn't watch you because you are weak. No, it watches you because you carry something within yourself that it fears, that it hates, that it needs to destroy before you discover your true power. But tell me something. Are you ready to look back? Are you prepared to face the truth about this presence that haunts you in the early mornings? Because after you know what I'm going to reveal, there will be no turning back. The curtain will be torn, the veil will be removed, and you will finally understand why your life has always been so different, so heavy, so marked by a pain that has no name. You know what the difference is between you and other people? It's not luck. It's not blind destiny. It's that you were marked. Since childhood, you always felt that something was wrong, something out of place. While other people lived their lives with lightness, laughing without weight, sleeping without fear, building relationships without everything inexplicably falling apart, you carried an invisible burden on your back, a cross that no one saw, but that made you stagger with every step. And at night, at night is when everything gets worse. Because it's in the silence of the early morning, when the material world falls asleep, that the spiritual world awakens. It's when the shadow approaches. It's when it stands at the foot of your bed, watching you with eyes you cannot see, but that you feel piercing your soul. You wake up in a cold sweat, your heart racing with a feeling of dread that you cannot explain. And when you look around, there is nothing there, nothing visible, nothing palpable. But you know, you feel, there was something there. The chosen ones carry a heightened spiritual perception that is both a blessing and a curse. While common people live in comfortable ignorance, you see beyond, you feel beyond. You perceive the invisible layers of reality that others don't even imagine exist. And because of that, you became a target marked by forces that operate in the shadows, that don't want you to fully awaken, that don't want you to discover who you really are. How many times have you felt paralyzed in bed, unable to move with your body heavy as lead? How many times have you heard whispers that came from nowhere? How many times have you dreamed of dark places with faceless figures, with encrypted messages that left you disturbed for days? This is not coincidence. It's not your imagination. It's not a sleep disorder. It's spiritual warfare. It's the shadow fulfilling its role, keeping you in fear, keeping you in doubt, keeping you away from your calling. And the worst part? No one believes you. When you try to talk about these experiences, they look at you as if you were crazy. They say it's stress, anxiety, that you need to sleep better, that maybe you should seek medical help. But you know it's none of that. You know that what you face every night is real, is spiritual, is beyond human understanding. And this lack of understanding, this isolation, this loneliness of carrying a truth that no one validates, this is one of the greatest pains of the chosen ones. The shadow knows your story. It knows your wounds. It knows exactly where to attack you to cause the greatest damage. That's why it appears precisely when you are most vulnerable, when your body rests and your mind lowers its defenses. It's at that moment that it whispers lies, that it projects terrifying images, that it plants seeds of fear in the soil of your consciousness. And you wake up exhausted, not because you slept poorly, but because you fought all night. You fought alone. You fought in silence. You fought a battle that no one saw, but that left deep marks on your soul. The chosen ones rarely have a full night of true rest, because even when the body sleeps, the spirit remains alert. Even when the eyes close, spiritual consciousness continues active, watching, perceiving, feeling the movements in the invisible realm. Have you ever woken up more tired than when you lay down? Have you felt that, even sleeping 8 hours, It seems like you didn't sleep at all. This happens because you were in combat. Your spirit was fighting while your flesh rested, and the shadow, it feeds on this. It feeds on your tiredness, your confusion, your fear. It wants you to doubt yourself, to question your sanity, to believe you are alone in this fight. Because if you discover the truth, if you understand what is really happening, it loses power over you. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to rip off its mask. We're going to expose its methods. We're going to reveal why it pursues you with such insistence. But before we get to the complete revelation, you need to understand something fundamental. The shadow is not just an entity. It is a strategy. It is a spiritual system of oppression designated specifically to prevent the chosen ones from fulfilling their purpose. And it has levels. It has layers. It has hierarchies. Because you are not just any target. You are a threat. You carry within yourself a potential that, if released, can change the spiritual course of entire generations. That's why the shadow doesn't leave you in peace. That's why it pursues you even in the most intimate, most private, most vulnerable moments. It needs to keep you broken. It needs to keep you small. It needs to keep you in doubt about who you really are. Because if you fully awaken, if you access all the spiritual authority that was placed within you, if you understand the size of your mission, it knows it will no longer have any power over you. The chosen ones carry spiritual keys that open doors in the invisible realm. Have you noticed that things happen around you that defy logic? Impossible synchronicities, events that align supernaturally, doors that open without you making any effort, and also doors that close violently even when you fight to keep them open? This happens because your presence affects spiritual reality. You are not a mere passive observer of life. You are a catalyst, a portal, a point of intersection between heaven and earth, and the shadow knows this. It always knew. Since before you were born, since before you took your first breath, there were already spiritual forces monitoring your lineage, tracking your soul, preparing strategies to neutralize you. Because chosen ones are not born by chance. They are born by decree. They come with missions engraved in their spiritual DNA, with purposes that were decided in celestial councils before the foundation of the material world. And this explains why your life has always been so difficult, why you faced losses that others don't face, why you went through deserts that others don't even imagine, why you were rejected by people who should love you, why you were betrayed by those you trusted, why you lost precious things, important people, golden opportunities. Because all of this was part of a coordinated attack, of an elaborate plan to break you before you flourished, to destroy you before you discovered the power within you. The shadow orchestrated each of these losses. It manipulated circumstances, influenced people, opened breaches so that pain could enter your life in a devastating way. And when you were there, on the ground, destroyed, crying tears that no one dried, wondering why God abandoned you, it was there, watching, waiting, hoping you would give up, hoping you would curse your calling, hoping you would deny your spiritual identity and surrender to the mediocrity of common life. But you didn't do that, did you? You resisted. Even without understanding, even without having answers, even carrying a pain that seemed greater than your ability to endure, you continued. You got up. You breathed one more day. You took one more step. And that's why you're here now, reading these words, feeling something move inside your chest. Because your soul recognizes the truth. Your spirit knows that the time for revelation has come. Now I'm going to tell you what they never told you. I'm going to reveal the secret that was hidden from the chosen ones for generations. The shadow that watches you while you sleep is not there just to torment you. It is there because it fears you. Yes, you heard right. It watches you because it fears you. It pursues you because it knows you are a threat to the kingdoms of darkness. It doesn't waste time with common people. It doesn't waste energy on those who pose no danger. But you were marked as a priority target. Do you know why? Because you carry light. A light that was lit at the moment of your spiritual conception, long before your body was formed in the maternal womb. A light that burns, that scorches, that bothers the darkness. And where there is light, the shadow cannot fully exist. It can only circle, it can only watch from afar. It can only try to extinguish that flame through fear, doubt, despair, but it cannot completely destroy you, because the light within you was not placed by human hands. It was planted by divine decree, and what God plants, no shadow can uproot. The shadow watches you while you sleep, because that's when it tries to plant prophetic nightmares. It projects dark visions of your future, trying to make you believe you are destined for failure, loneliness, eternal pain. It whispers that you will never be loved, never prosper, never fulfill your purpose. It shows images of your defeat, your fall, your destruction. And when you wake up, these images stick in your mind like ink stains that won't come out. But I'm going to reveal something powerful to you now. These nightmares are confessions of the shadow itself. They reveal what it fears most. If it shows you images of failure, it's because your success is prophesied. If it plants fear of loneliness, it's because powerful relationships are destined for you. If it torments you with visions of spiritual death, it's because your awakening is imminent. The shadow doesn't attack what has no potential. It attacks precisely what can shine the brightest. And here's the great secret that will change everything. The presence of the shadow in your life is not a sign that God abandoned you. It's a sign that God marked you. It's proof that you carry something too valuable to be left alone. Common people don't have persistent shadows because they pose no spiritual threat whatsoever. They live, work, have fun, die, and leave no mark on the spiritual fabric of reality. But you were designated to change territories, to break generational curses, to open paths where there was no path, to be light in the midst of the densest darkness. And that's why the shadow doesn't let you sleep in peace, because the sleep of the chosen ones is monitored. Your early mornings are battlefields. Your dreams are disputed territories between heaven and hell, because within you there are unfulfilled prophecies, there are unanswered callings, there are unactivated gifts, there is unexercised authority. And while all of this remains dormant, the shadow continues pressuring you, scaring you, keeping you small. But the time has come for you to understand who you really are. The time has come for you to look back and recognize the pattern. All those nights of terror, all those supernatural experiences, all those sleep paralyses, all those awakenings at 3 a.m. were not random attacks. They were confirmations. Confirmations that you are a chosen one. Confirmations that your purpose disturbs entire realms. Confirmations that there is a mission so great within you that spiritual forces need to constantly watch you to ensure you don't fully awaken. The shadow watches you while you sleep, because it's precisely in sleep that the chosen ones receive revelations. It's in the early mornings that God speaks most clearly, when the rational mind is silenced and the spirit is receptive. That's why the shadow needs to be there, causing disturbances, creating confusion, preventing you from hearing the voice of heaven with clarity. It knows that if you have a truly deep night's sleep, if you enter the heavenly places during your dreams, if you receive the instructions being sent from the throne, you will awaken transformed, and a transformed chosen one is a spiritual weapon that the shadow can no longer control. But now I'm going to reveal something even deeper to you, something that will make everything connect in your mind. The shadow doesn't work alone. It has allies, human allies who don't even know they are being used. That person who rejected you for no reason, that friend who betrayed you, that family member who humiliated you, that spiritual leader who discarded you. None of them knew, but they were being manipulated by the shadow to isolate you, to hurt you, to plant deep wounds in your soul that would make you question your worth and your calling. The chosen ones always experience human rejection because their presence activates spiritual discomfort in people who are dominated by shadows. Have you noticed that certain people simply can't stand you for no apparent reason? You did nothing against them, but they feel an inexplicable aversion to you? This happens because the light you carry exposes the darkness that dwells in them. Your presence is a spiritual mirror, and no one likes to have their shadows revealed. That's why you were excluded. That's why you were left aside. That's why you spent years feeling like you didn't belong anywhere, because you really didn't belong. You were not made to fit into systems built by mediocrity. You were not created to be comfortable in environments where the light is extinguished and the truth is silenced. You were forged in the fire of isolation so that you would learn to depend only on God, so that you would develop an inner strength that cannot be shaken by human approval or rejection. And the shadow hated every second of your transformation. It was there, every night, watching you cry, watching you question, watching you fight against the will to give up. It was hoping you would break completely, that you would surrender to despair, that you would curse the day you were born. But you didn't break. You bent, but didn't break. You bled, but didn't die. You fell, but got up. And every time you got up, the shadow took a step back, because it realized it wasn't dealing with someone common. It was dealing with a chosen one who, even without understanding their purpose, was already fulfilling their destiny just by resisting. The resistance of the chosen ones is a form of spiritual warfare, simply refusing to give up when everything pushes you toward giving up is an act of sacred rebellion against the forces of darkness. Every morning you wake up, even after a tormented night, is a victory. Every time you take a deep breath and decide to continue, even without seeing a way out, is a defeat for the shadow. Every tear you shed in prayer, even thinking God is not listening, is a direct hit to the kingdoms of darkness. And now we come to the climax of this revelation. Now you need to understand what really happened to you. All those losses were not punishment. They were preparation. All that isolation was not abandonment. It was training. All that suffering was not condemnation. It was forging. God never abandoned you. He was molding you. He was refining you in the hottest fire that exists, the fire of invisible pain, silent rejection, suffering without witnesses, because the chosen ones need to be strong in a way that common people don't need to be. You will carry the weight of other souls. You will free people who are in spiritual prisons. You will confront darkness that no one else has the courage to face. And to do this, you cannot be afraid. You cannot be bound to human approval. You cannot depend on external validation. You need to be unshakable, and only those who have been shaken to the bones and remained standing become unshakable. The shadow watched you break and rebuild yourself so many times that it has grown tired. It has already spent all its weapons against you. It has already thrown all its lies, all its fears, all its attacks. And you are still here. You are still reading. You are still seeking. You are still believing there is a greater purpose even when everything seems to indicate otherwise. And this, my brother, my sister, this is the most compelling proof that you are a chosen one, because only the chosen ones survive what you survived. And now comes the transformation. Now you need to take possession of what belongs to you. You are no longer a victim of the shadow. You are victorious over it. Every night it watched you, you were being trained to look back. Every fear it planted, you now transform into strength. Every lie it whispered, you now replace with truth, the truth that you are loved, the truth that you have purpose, the truth that every pain you felt was sculpting in you a character that no university teaches, a wisdom that no book contains, a spiritual authority that no institution can confer. God hid you in the valley of shadows, so you would learn the secrets of spiritual warfare. He left you in the lonely early morning so you would develop intimacy with Him that doesn't depend on crowds, music, structures. He allowed you to be watched by the shadow so you would understand how the enemy operates, what its tactics are, where its weaknesses lie. Because you were not called to be just another believer. You were called to be a warrior, a liberator, a light bearer in territories dominated by darkness. And now that you know this, everything changes. When you sleep tonight, if the shadow appears, you will no longer tremble with fear. You will recognize that it is there because it fears you. When you wake up at 3 in the morning, you will no longer despair. You will understand that this is the time when God wants to tell you something important, and the shadow is trying to prevent the communication. When you feel that heavy presence, you will declare your authority. You will remember your identity. You will command all darkness to depart in the name of the one who chose you before the foundation of the world. You no longer need to live in fear. Fear was the tool the shadow used to control you for so long. But now you know the truth, and the truth sets you free. The truth is that you were marked. Yes, but not for destruction. You were marked for glory. The scars you carry are not signs of defeat. They are medals of honor. They are proof that you fought battles no one saw and won wars no one applauded. The chosen ones don't have an easy life. They don't have paved paths. They don't have comfortable guarantees. But they have something much greater. They have purpose. They have destiny. They have a mark of eternity engraved in the center of the soul. And when that mark becomes visible, when that calling becomes undeniable, when that purpose fully manifests, then you understand that it was worth every tear shed, every sleepless night, every moment of solitude. The shadow knows that this day is coming for you. It feels it. That's why it has increased the attacks recently. That's why your nights have become heavier. That's why you have felt greater spiritual oppression. It's not because you are losing. It's because you are about to win definitively. It's because your awakening is near. It's because the hour of your manifestation has arrived, And when a chosen one fully manifests who they are, entire realms kneel. So today, now, in this moment, you declare, I am a chosen one. I am no longer afraid of the shadow. I recognize that every pain I felt was preparing me for a purpose that will still reveal itself in its fullness. I accept that my journey was different because my destiny is extraordinary. I embrace the scars as part of my victory story. I look back and see the hand of God sustaining me, even when I thought I was alone. And I look forward knowing that the best is yet to come. The shadow can continue watching, but it will no longer find you broken. It will find you standing, radiant, aware, powerful. It will find you using every tool it tried to use against you, now as a weapon in your favor. It will find you freeing others who are still trapped in the same fear that once imprisoned you, and it will retreat, because the light you carry now is no longer a fragile flame. It is a consuming fire. It is a torch that illuminates paths. It is a lighthouse that guides the lost back home. If you made it this far, it's not a coincidence. You were guided. Your spirit recognized the truth that was spoken here. And now you have a choice. Either you accept your identity as a chosen one and assume the purpose that was planted in you, or you return to common life trying to ignore what you just discovered. But I tell you, after you've seen the truth, there's no way not to see it anymore. I want you to do something now. In the comments below, write, I am a chosen one. Declare this publicly, because declaration brings manifestation. When you assume your identity before witnesses, even if they are strangers on the internet, something moves in the spiritual realm. Portals open, angels are mobilized, your destiny begins to accelerate. And if you know someone who also wakes up in the middle of the night, who also feels presences, who also carries an invisible pain that no one understands, share this video with that person, because it may be that they are waiting for exactly this message. It may be that they are about to give up and this video is the push they needed to get up one more time. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because more revelations are coming. Truths that were hidden from the chosen ones for generations are being uncovered, and you need to be here to receive each one of them. Your journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's just beginning. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are a chosen one. And the shadow that watches you while you sleep already knows this. It's time for you to know it too. May the light within you burn ever stronger. May the darkness retreat before your presence. May your purpose manifest in fullness. And may you never again sleep as a victim, but as victorious. I am a chosen one, and so are you. Until the next video. And remember, the shadow only watches those it fears, and it fears you because you are light.